So, as I was saying, um, Cincinnati Bengals are on the clock. Trey, since your team unfortunately won the division this past season, we'll let you pop it off. What do you think the Cincinnati Bengals need to do this year to become competitive and relevant in the AFC North?
Prayer,
Starting off with, yeah,
prayer.
a lot of it.
Right now, their offensive line is not too good. Let's just say that. Joe Burrow was under a lot of duress, as you stated, when he played both the Steelers and the Ravens, as well as I didn't see the second Cleveland Brown game because I remember the first one though. But just in general, they have to fix the O line just because you have Miles Garrett, T.J. Watt, and insert Ravens pass rusher because you guys kind of flip them around. Calais Campbell, I guess. I don't know who's still going to be there. I don't know what y'all are doing. So, but regardless, y'all have a pretty good defensive front. So, regardless, this is not a division that you can have a bad offensive line. You hear that, Steelers? Y'all got to do the same thing. But um, Joe Burrow, though, that is the bright spot. They found their quarterback for the next 15 years or so, considering you do what I just said, and that is protect this man. Because, yeah, while he did show some flashes, I would like to see what he could do if he wasn't under constant duress and trying to make stuff happen. Um, the team overall, though, was just, bad overall. 32nd in offense, 32nd in defense. So you can only go up from there, right?
You would think.
With their first round pick, obviously, I've said for the Dolphins that, I mean, pretty much everybody thinks the Dolphins are going to take a receiver with their pick.
Tight end.
The smart pick would be to take the offensive lineman, though. Can't say his first name, Sewell.
Yeah,
Inside
something like
Sewell.
that.
Yeah,
Oregon tackle. That's all I can
exactly. Yes, Oregon tackle.
say.
Um,
Oregon tackle.
but I know for a fact if the Dolphins do pass on him, the Cincinnati Bengals will not. They have to fortify that offensive line for Joe Burrow so that he is protected and we can see him make that next jump in his progression as a quarterback in the NFL, in which they did take a rookie tackle last year as well. They took Jonah Williams. So they are attempting, they know that they have to address the offensive line. And I think this will be the next step. You get a tackle for the other side. So you got your two bookends on each side as far as your offensive line, and you try to build from there. Now they had some other injuries. Obviously, Joe Mixon is kind of banged up throughout the year. You saw a lot more Giovanni Bernard throughout the season. I'm not saying they need to necessarily upgrade at running back. I mean, Joe Mixon, he thought he was a Le'Veon Bell copy. You know, you try to wear his gear just like Le'Veon when Le'Veon was with the Steelers and stuff. Uh, try to mimic him somewhat, but he hasn't necessarily had the same production as Bell, but he's been solid for the
Solid.
most part.
Yeah.
He's a solid running back when he is
Yep.
healthy. And Bernard has been a constant, like,
Pass catching
spell
back.
back, cast catching back, third down back for the Bengals for years now, in which they just re-signed him last season. They extended him for I think another 2 to 3 years. So that
Solid.
that did surprise me. So I think they're good at running back. Receiver, obviously they took T. Higgins last year. He had some flashes. Obviously, he looked better when Burrow was in the lineup versus
He
I can't
wasn't.
even think. I can't even think of the dude who took over once Burrow got hurt. Can't even think of his name.
Oh shoot.
Lindsley or Is that his name? Finley something. Anyway,
Oh,
Oh
Finley.
yeah, Finley.
Okay.
Finley.
Yeah,
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 there you go. I knew it
yeah.
was
It was
something like that.
Finley. Yeah,
Something like
because
that.
there's a guy that I watched who's a Steelers fan, and he made a joke about Fit Finley guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So yeah. So
yeah.
so Finley, anyways, yeah. He didn't look so good the second part of the year with with Finley, but I think T Higgins will. I think he's gonna make a jump as as well as Burrow. I feel like they'll be able to grow together. Um, AJ Green, cap casualty.
He's
I
already a
don't know.
free
I don't know why they
agent.
didn't trade him. That's what I understand. Y'all should have traded him when you could have got something real valuable.
Valuable.
Now he's probably just gonna walk and sign somewhere else. So you get nothing for it, but whatever.
Baltimore.
I can see that because that's right up your wheelhouse.
He's been
That's the
linked.
type of stuff y'all do.
Yep,
It's not gonna be a lot of money, maybe low risk, high reward. If he can
exactly.
get back to form, hey,
Good.
at the very least, he can help groom some of them other boys over there. So I actually could see that happening. Not gonna lie, don't want to
Hmm.
see it
Oh,
because I want AJ to get back to his old self, especially with y'all. But we talk about uh the Bengals right now.
Right.
So
yeah,
okay, Jonah Williams, T. Higgins, those were the key additions. Oh, and Joe Burrow, obviously last year. So those are three
yeah.
key additions last season. Do you have their listing of other picks outside of that first round pick?
From what I googled, they have their just their picks. I didn't see
Oh,
anything
they don't have any
additional.
extra picks.
No, not unless
Okay.
it is like compensatory pick.
Yeah.
However you pronounce it, I keep fumbling on that.
Oh well, I mean, picking five in each round, they
But
still
I'll double
should
check
be
real
able
quick.
to um make some moves.
Right.
But offensive line is definitely the focal point I think they need to make. I think they're going to go as far as Burrow goes. I don't expect them to be a playoff team or anything like that this year. That shouldn't be a
Definitely
goal
not.
of theirs. But the other thing is they have 42.1 million in cap space as I see. So that could be another avenue that they can address some other potential needs. Uh, they're gonna have to get better at pass rusher too because you gotta think they let go of Carlos Dunlap.
Hmm.
He was traded to the Seattle Seahawks,
Yeah.
or
Yep.
was he released or traded?
Traded.
Traded.
So they didn't get anything
Traded.
for that.
Oh, actually,
Pick.
they got a
Yeah, they should have picks, but I think
first
they're
round
like
pick or something like
further.
that.
I think they're
Yeah,
like
they should
next
have got
year
something. Yeah, I was
though.
gonna say they should have got something for Dunlap.
Yeah, so that's
Um,
right. Yeah, they got a fifth round pick, I believe it was.
okay, well, yeah, that doesn't really do much
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
really
Yeah,
yeah.
I was gonna
But
say. I think.
That doesn't help me fix this team, but um, yeah. So free agency might be the route they have to go. So free agency, if I'm gonna address not only, like I said, for me, we're addressing O line
ooh,
in the draft. So free agency, that's where I would look at
Hmm.
trying to get you some edge rushers.
Hmm.
And we're better than to look than somebody you see or you saw a couple times during the season, right? Look within your division. They don't want to pay you or they can't pay you. So guess what? You pay them. Uh Judon, if he doesn't end up getting signed back from Baltimore, I could see the Bengals go in and try to make a play at him. Uh Yannick Ngakwe, that would be somebody if I'm the Bengals. I try to look at trying to steal from Baltimore.
Uh, was it not
Even
Casey?
Pittsburgh, but Dupree. Y'all have the
yeah.
cat space. The Steelers can't pay him what he wants for market value. Why not you guys pay him? And that wouldn't be unheard of because there was once upon a time in a couple years ago, probably like 5, 6 years ago now, but when James Harrison was let go by the Steelers, and guess where he went and played for a season? Cincinnati, of all places. Didn't work out for him too well. He came home, but
Mhm.
it could happen. It definitely could happen. But those are just a couple options. Obviously, you could go after a big fish like a Shaq Barrett or something like that. If you're trying to address edge rusher, um, and I'm sure there's, as Vic said, free agency is about to be on the brink of starting to really ramp up. So we're going to see a couple more cap casualties that are going to happen, as well as people getting signed. So once that happens, we'll kind of see where some of the chips fall. And for whatever reason, I feel like Von Miller. I still feel like he's about to be a cap casualty. That could be a potential candidate for the Bengals to look at to try to fortify that defensive line. The other thing is tight end. They spent a lot of years on Tyler Eifert being banged up and hurt. They finally got off of him this year, but they still didn't have any real production at tight end. So there are a few tight ends that are available now who I think they should take a look into, if not in the
Kyle,
draft. But
Kyle
Kyle
Rudolph
Rudolph,
is definitely one.
Kyle
Hunter,
Jonas
Rudolph,
Smith.
yeah, John
John,
Smith would be great for him. John Smith in that offense with T. Higgins and Burrow. That would be nice as well. Um,
Gerald Everett.
oh yeah,
Everett
Those
Jared
are at least the
Everett
top
for
from the
top name.
yeah, from the Ram, yeah.
Rams. Yeah,
Yeah,
So
so I mean, there's some those are a couple options for them, but just as far as the draft, obviously, I feel like it's a lock. If the Dolphins don't take him, that they are going to take uh Oregon tackle. Like I just feel like that's a lock. They have to fortify the offensive line first and foremost, and then via free agency, I see them making some moves as far as like getting fits in their pass rush, as far as their defense, and then like I said, tight ends another need they probably should look into. You possibly could use another receiver, but not really.
yeah,
You still got Tyler Boyd, you got T. Higgins. You're going to lose AJ Green, so you could bring in another free agent wide receiver, but it's not like
Ross is gone.
Ross is there, but Ross hasn't really.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought he was gonna
he
get
can
traded.
be gone. I mean, he's
I thought he,
fast.
yeah, I thought he was gonna get traded. He was saying
Yeah,
that
he
he's
wanted to
unhappy
be
they're not
traded. Yeah,
using him,
he wanted to be traded,
but nothing
Yeah,
ever happened.
but I mean, yeah, what has Ross done, Spence?
I'm just saying.
Besides run his 40. I'm
Hey,
trust me, I played when they first got him, when
got
they
it,
first drafted him, I was like,
got
oh
it.
my gosh, I do not want to have to see that twice a season. And he's generally
and,
not
you,
he's a non-factor, to be honest, in any
and,
game.
and you can't say that it's like saying like with Baltimore, like the receiving coach or whatever, like they don't utilize the receivers like
Nah,
that. Like
AJ Green before he
AJ
was
Green, T
hurt.
Higgins just
Yeah.
now, Tyler
Yeah,
Boyd. I mean, they got
Tyler
production.
Boyd scares me when we play them. Like he scares me more than
Yeah,
any of them, I think. Boyd
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
is
yeah.
He's
so
He
yeah.
is.
versatile. He can
John
do it
Ross
all.
Yeah.
John Ross barely see the field, honestly. Like
Yeah.
To,
he's a
to be honest, yeah.
non-factor. Now maybe if he goes somewhere else and they put him in a different usage, maybe you got to get him the ball in space. Maybe he can't get separation like as a true receiver. Maybe bubble screens or something like that will work for him in the right
Yeah.
offense. But yeah, I'm not worried about John Ross. But
Yeah.
y'all got it. Sewell,
So,
you heard it here first. That picks a lot.
uh, well, I mean, Trey pretty much hit upon the offensive line, most of the team needs and stuff like that. Um, I do agree. First round pick, if saying by some chance that some team before the Cincinnati Bengals at pick number 5 decides they want to take Panisa Will or however you pronounce the Oregon tackle. If somebody
Oregon
decides that they want to
tackle.
pick the Oregon tackle, um, then so be it. The only team that I would possibly think that would even do that would be the Miami Dolphins. I'm just gonna say
Yeah,
that right
probably
now.
else. It'll be
or
playoffs.
the New York Jets. But
Yeah.
I don't expect that to happen.
No.
I don't expect that to happen. So I'm expecting him to go to the Cincinnati Bengals. But before that, obviously team needs. I got it in order from 1 through 5. Offensive line is the first one.
Yep.
Number 2, defensive end. Again, offensive line. Trey pretty much hit up on most of that, so I don't need to go over that again. 2, defensive end. There, Carl Lawson is expected to be a free agent. Um, so they definitely need to address that edge rusher. Cornerback is my third one, which William Jackson is also set to be a free agent, unless they make some moves to where they resign both players. But based off of reports and things that I read, doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Um, and they did have Trey Waynes last year, but he was injured, so he didn't really contribute to the team. But defense is definitely something that I feel like the Cincinnati Bengals need to address in the second round, or well, not yet, second round, but also in free agency. I would definitely have them target that just because offensively, I was looking at the numbers in terms of like their yards per game and stuff like that, but they didn't have Joe Burrow, so I'm gonna just not even really look at those numbers. I could go off of the games that Joe Burrow played, but it just wouldn't do so much justice. It's rookie year, no OTAs, no training camp, none of that, no preseason. So defense, points scored against them, 20. They're 22nd in the league. Yards per game, 26. Turnovers, they're ranked 27th out of all defenses. Pass defense, 19th, and run defense, 29th. So for the most part, I would say that they do need some interior defensive linemen, D tackles, but also the edge rushers too, because obviously you got to have to set that edge in order to prevent from stretches and tosses and things like that to
Do they not have Geno Atkins no more?
from what I read,
Um,
it sounded like he may possibly be gone. So,
I think he's a free
um,
agent.
yeah, I, that's what I read on their page. It sounded like he was going to be a free
Yeah.
agent, unless
Yeah.
if they
Yeah.
do something. They do have 42.1 mil in cap space, so they could do something. But
Nah.
um,
He's out because
okay,
I think I know last year he was on a franchise tag.
okay, so yeah,
So
they probably don't want to
yeah.
pay him that
Yeah.
franchise tag for the second year since
Yeah.
it
I
definitely
think
boosts up.
yeah, I definitely remember that. Yeah, he was on a franchise tag. So yeah, he's a free
Um,
agent.
so third one again is cornerback. Uh, and I had it backwards, but D tackle was actually fourth on the list.
Okay.
Um, so I had it receiver at 4, but I gotta change that just because
Yeah.
just reading off the numbers, they definitely need to work on that defense and I mean that interior
Interior.
slash defensive line. Um,
As
because
a whole, it sounds like, and this is just me, and obviously us being fans of teams in the AFC North, we follow the Browns and the Bengals
yeah,
just because they're our rivals. So you have to see what they're doing more or less.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I think they fixed all. They draft the tackle. Joe Burrow comes back healthy. Their offense is gonna be okay. It might not be like a top
Yeah,
scoring offense, but they'll be able to put up points with Burrow.
Right.
yeah,
Defense definitely overall needs work. Like no matter how you put it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I see the Cincinnati Bengals trying to be active, trying to find players that are not too expensive because again they have 42.1 mil in cap space. So I
Spread
see
it
them,
out.
yeah, exactly, just trying to
Don't go
dip
get you
in
one player for
different
30
spots.
mil and then you
Exactly.
don't spend all your
And
money in one place like mama used to tell you.
yeah, and I know a lot of players. Obviously everybody watches around the league, and I'm sure players that were watching Joe Burrow to see what he was about. They're probably impressed with just how he was able to keep the team competitive, even though they really didn't have too much.
Right.
on that roster. Just like how last year, for example, um, Kyler Murray. Like everybody seeing how Kyler Murray did in his rookie year, and they were just like, man, that boy's gonna be something special.
Yeah, but he
Obviously,
made
D
a
Hop
jump.
had no choice in the matter. He got traded to him, but he wasn't mad at it either because he's like, hey, uh, I got another quarterback. Uh, so I mean, I see some teams, some players trying to probably possibly make a move to go over there, like Trey said. You got Matt Judon. Even then, this is something I want to throw out there for everybody. For those that don't know, and I hope this doesn't happen, but Shaq Barrett, when he first became a free agent 2 years
Oh
ago,
yes, he felt his
Cincinnati
physical.
Bengals, yeah. Well, I think was it that because he said a different story. He said that I guess something in the guarantees or whatever they
Well, yeah,
changed it up.
that's what I heard. I heard he didn't like they made the offer to him. It was gonna be a long term offer, and then something about when he went in for I don't know if he was coming off an injury or whatever, but something about his physical, like he didn't all the way past the physical
Oh,
part of things. So
okay,
I think they then tried to lowball him after that. Like we'll still sign you, but you're not gonna get what
oh,
we originally
that's
was gonna
probably
offer you.
probably could have been the whole story because he probably didn't tell the entire story. But from what he was saying is that they were offering him a 2 year deal. The Bucks obviously they offered him a 1 year deal, but um, the Bengals offered him a 2 year deal, um, but the guaranteed money wasn't there. So he just opted to stay. Well, to come to Tampa. Tampa was his second option. So I mean, maybe there might be some bad blood to where he's like, nah, I don't really trust the Bengals, and he don't want to try to revisit that. Maybe he may give him a shot again, but uh,
No, stay
think
out of the
positive.
AFC North.
It's not
Yeah.
gonna happen. He gonna stay. He gonna stay in Tampa.
Well, no, he could leave
Uh,
Tampa. I don't care about that. Just don't come to the AFC North.
or go to the Ravens. If anything, I'll be all good with that. Shaq, if that's what you want to do.
Miami Dolphins. Just
Uh,
we got rid of Van Noy, right? Matter of fact, we
uh,
should try this. We should try to trade Van Noy to the Bengals.
hmm, they probably might be a duck to do
and,
that, but
and get what?
I don't
something,
know something.
something. If we cut him, we get nothing. So
Yeah,
trade him and get something for it.
but
Oh,
with that being said, um, this free agency waiver wire is loaded at on defense, whether it's defensive line, linebackers, even safeties and cornerbacks. So like, there's no excuse for the Cincinnati Bengals not to make anything happen. Um, just to kind of recite back to what Trey said earlier, um, pass protection is the biggest issue because as we've seen, Joe Burrow was running for his life when he played the Baltimore Ravens, when he played the Pittsburgh Steelers, and when he got injured, it was against the Washington football team.
And what do they have? A great
Pass
defensive
rush,
line.
great defensive line, all first round picks.
all
Murdered
of
that
them.
boy. Murdered that boy.
Every last one of them,
And
too.
yeah,
Every
so
last one of them.
protect your
Your
your the
quarterback.
face of your franchise. So with that being said, Spence, what you got?
Protect your quarterback. Protect your quarterback. I don't think a lot of I think we really need to stress it to a lot of these GMs. Protect your quarterback.
Don't you hear Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson?
Like, protect your quarterback. Do not be like the Colts and have your star quarterback just says, I can't play no more out of nowhere. For the Bengals is definitely the line. So the Oregon tackle, he's I think we all said, yeah, if he's not him, Sissy, you gotta explain this one to me. You gotta explain this one to me because
I mean, could they take? I would say.
I mean,
what else could they take? I mean, like you said, they got a lot of needs on defense, but I don't think you're taking it at 5.
Right at 5.
I'd be shocked if they
at
take
5. At 5,
they take that boy that says Kyle Pitts.
Pitts?
Like,
That's the
mean,
only one. That
I can
that's
understand,
the
but
only that's the only one I can
still,
see.
no. Like in the AFC North, if you didn't see the tape last season, don't just avoid it. Like it's a sexy pick, but just don't do it, Cincy.
Right.
I mean, just this is just kind of like this is like a quick shot of Vick, anyways. But I mean, you see how we had Lamar Jackson running around when he played us, and the Ravens got a good offensive line. So if Joe Burrow don't got a good offensive line, it's just like
he's gonna be running for his life. Yeah, I know. So just saying. So definitely fix the line. Defense is one of the defensive line is one thing. Dunlap is gone. Atkins is out. And so that's where your main two. So this off season, there's a lot of them. Go get you one. You don't have to pay them crazy. Don't pay them crazy. Be reasonable, and you could probably stretch it out. You could probably get a 2 for 2 if you do it right. But those are the kind of things that they have to really stress about, especially on the defensive line, man. Because man, I think both lines for the Bengals, offensively, defensively, should be their main focus.
I mean, the trenches, yeah. I mean, for most teams, that's where the game's won and lost is the trenches.
So
got
I think
a good
those
D-line and O-line.
Look at the Bucks.
Look at the Bucks.
Yeah.
I don't think Brady got touched all Super Bowl.
Yeah, he did.
As far as
sack
wise, and
sack-wise.
That one time, but
and then you seen what the Bucks defensive line did to the Chiefs defensive line. So you see how Patrick Mahomes looked in the Super Bowl? That's how Joe Burrow looks regularly.
And
now, the Chiefs, that was backups. That is, like I said, that is Cincinnati just with their starters. That's just how it looks.
OHIO. Oh man, do they have a chance to making sure their quarterback is safe? Hell no. But yeah, the trenches on both sides should be definitely focused. Wide receiver, you can probably pick somebody up. You can pick up another receiver in like free agency. Not a big name, but somebody just to fill the slots.
I think the draft's deep enough too. They could get like a receiver in the third round if they wanted to. Yeah. They don't like that's not a glaring need.
Yeah. I mean,
this draft is loaded with receivers too. So just like
they'll
last
be fine.
Year. Not as great, but it's definitely got a lot of slot receivers.
Pittsburgh will probably find one in like the fourth round.
I'm sure they will.
But
why you say
I don't know. But I guess for you two division, this is I guess the stepchild.
No, I mean I guess now you could say that because it really was Cleveland, but they trying to step the game up a little bit.
Look, hey, her allowance was picking up, so they had to pick it up. But for the Bengals, definitely trenches, wide receiver, tight end. That is definitely a big thing because other than Eifers gone, the name I can't really say because it's hard. But
I know exactly who you're talking about at tight end. Usama or
something like that.
Yeah.
How about rank?
Yeah.
I know like that. He's injury prone. He's very I don't know, he's injury prone, but every time I see him play, he looks flat. He gets flashes. You know what I'm saying? He gets injured and he just goes.
Yeah.
He disappears.
He doesn't
he just didn't stay.
I mean, Kyle Pitts, if let's say the Dolphins do take Sewell, now that Vick got me thinking about it, Kyle Pitts would not be.
It wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be bad.
I just can't see it though.
But you don't want to. You don't want to go that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. So the only thing that I would say, if the Cincinnati Bengals do get Kyle Pitts as their selection, it all depends on what they do in free agency. If they address that offensive line in free agency, I would understand. That's understandable. But if they
Yeah,
don't do that and they draft Kyle Pitts, it's gonna scratch. I'm gonna scratch my head. But at the same time, I'm gonna be like, I get it. I understand. Like, he's probably one of the best prospects in the draft. But at the same time, you gotta protect Joe Burrow. We see what happened last year. And that's what they see in second round. But see, if I was Cincinnati Bengals, I would select um, the Oregon tackle. And then in the second round, if Brevin Jordan from the U is there, I will select him. You get your quarterback. I mean, you get your offensive line, and you get the tight end if that's what you need.
well, yeah, they can use a tight end, but it's probably again
I don't
it's,
think it's a
it's
big
above
need.
receiver, but it's below everything on defense. So it's like,
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
but I guess it just all matters. What's the coach's name? Is it Zach Taylor?
shit,
Is
I don't even know. To be real,
Yeah, that's his name, Zach Taylor. Yeah.
it's Hinkleberry.
Oh boy.
But yeah, it just depends on what type of coach he wants to be. If you're obviously you have to address the defense at some point because the defense can't just stay horrible, but you want to be try to be do you want to try to build like an offensive powerhouse, or do you want to be more so a defensive team? So that could factor in too based on, and I guess we'll see that based on the moves they
Him.
make via free
Yeah.
agency and draft. It'll kind of
Yeah.
like it'll kind of tell us what kind of team they're trying to become.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, going on to the next topic, we got the Philadelphia Eagles.